Good afternoon, Sean family. How y'all doing? This is Owr Ibri here with the Living Word Initiative. I'm coming at you with another video today. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Father, to the Most High, to the Source, to the Creator, for allowing us to be in this moment right here together, allowing us to be able to cultivate fruit together, and allow us to be able to aim for our next goal and move forward and just be here in this moment. That's the most important part. Knowing that this moment was not promised to us and knowing that the next moment is not promised to us. So we just thank him for blessing us with the ability to be able to be here in this moment with fully functioning bodies and our full sight, hearing, everything, our ability to walk, see, talk, hear, speak, and just have a healthy spirit. So first off, just giving thanks to the source. So today, the topic that I want to speak on is vision. Now, yesterday, one of the topics that I touched on was commitment. So prior to having a vision, you have to first commit to something. You have to figure out, okay, what is it that I want to commit to? Prior to committing to something, you have to figure out, first off, what it is that you are supposed to be committing to. Like I've been reiterating, the purpose is being the highest version of your authentic self. Simple as that. Now, with being the highest version of your authentic self, whatever it is that you're supposed to have, whatever it is that you're supposed to do, was put inside of you before you were created, before you were formed. Now, when we got here to the earth realm, to this realm that we're in, a lot of us forgot it. We got caught up, we got inundated in the world, we got different attacks thrown at us and whatnot. So it was hard for us to remember what our purpose is. But then there are specific steps that you take, and there are specific things that you do, and there are certain things that happen to you in life that align you with what your purpose is to get you back in line. You just have to be, excuse me, you just have to have the intuition to understand what it is and what is it leading you back to. So, for example, real quick, looking over my life, I used to work in education, used to be a teacher, was a high school varsity basketball coach, always worked with youth. So these were the things, and I was always in a teaching role. I was always in a leadership, teaching, instructing, advice-giving role my whole life, even when I was younger, like when I was in high school, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I had a lot of friends they would always come to me and ask me for advice. I wasn't, always running around crazy like everyone else was. Everyone else was doing, not everyone, but a lot of people were doing, typical teenager stuff. I wasn't. So I was always the one that they would come to and ask for advice. I was always the quote unquote old soul of my friends and those that I was around. So moving forward, as I began to go through these things, not realizing this was my creative purpose, and that's because I didn't know who I was. In order for you to know your creative purpose, you have to know who you are. So I'm trying to do all these other things, trying to follow all these other things and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing when I was in it. So once I sat down, recalibrated, looked back over my life, saw what the consistent theme was in a positive manner, and then did an inventory of my skill set, and then did an inventory of my gifts, then I was able to realize, okay, now I see what my creative purpose is. Let's start working in that. So once you figure all of that out, then you have to commit to the process. You have to be committed. I have a quote here by Inky Johnson. Beautiful quote. It says, you have to be committed to the process without being emotionally attached to the results. What the commitment does is it builds consistency. So even, we're human. There are times where there are things that we have to do or that we know we need to do that we are not going to want to do. It may be difficult. We may feel like we're not equipped or that we aren't qualified for them. But everything that's within the realm of our creative purpose, we're qualified for. So just like even going into scripture really quick, you got the story of Gideon. Like Gideon, Yah came to him and told him, hey, you're going to be leading this army, my army, into battle. Gideon said, why me? Like, my family's poor, and I'm the lowliest of my poor family. And Yah said, no, I'm choosing you. This is what you're going to do. Gideon didn't think that he was able or was qualified to do it, but not only was he qualified, but he exceeded the expectations, overcame all the obstacles, defeated all the enemies, told the enemies what he was going to do, and he did it. So when you are operating in the highest version of your authentic self, then you have the ability to overcome things that you may not think you'll be able to overcome because you're working to your strengths. So that's committing. Commit to the process. The next thing that we're going to touch on today is vision. You have to have a vision. Vision is so important. Scripture tells us, for where the people lack vision, they perish. So many of us wake up every single day and, like Eric Thomas says, we're waking up like an accident. Like we have no direction of where we're going. We're just opening up our eyes, being thankful that we opened up our eyes, stepping our feet out of the bed. And when we step our feet out of the bed, it's almost like someone immediately starts living our life for us. Most of the time, we're doing things that we necessarily didn't quote unquote choose to do. Like we think we chose to do those things. We didn't really choose them. Those were the options that were given to us, and we just were lazy enough to choose from the options that were given to us. We never thought outside of the box. We go and we're working jobs, or we're attending schools or attending classes, or doing these things. A lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are doing things that someone else felt was best for us as opposed to what we feel is best for us. So you have to have a vision. Don't wake up like an accident. Wake up on purpose. Figure out, okay, where am I going at? Because when you have that vision and you couple it with that commitment, it helps drive you in a direction in which you need to be going. It's just like if you're taking a road trip. Like you can get in a car and you can be like, okay, I'm going on a road trip. But if your intentions are, man, I love water, I love sun, I love the beach. Your intentions are to go somewhere with, lots of sun, lots of water, and a beach. But because you don't know exactly where you're going, you just get in the car and start driving. Then, you just all of a sudden end up in, I don't know, Montana or Michigan or somewhere like that's not where you're going. Yes, you got in the car and you start driving. However, it's not important that you're doing something. It's important that you're doing something in a specific direction. Or else you're wasting time, you're wasting energy. And then you're setting yourself back. Like, yeah, you're moving, but at the same time, you're not moving in the direction of what you need to be at. So once you figure out what your creative purpose is, once you commit to doing whatever it takes to fully operate in your creative purpose, aka the highest version of your authentic self, then you need to create a vision. Once you take an inventory of your skill sets, then you know exactly where you need to aim to, where you need to go, where your vision needs to be directed toward. Once you get that vision and you figure out, okay, this is where I'm going and this is what I'm directed toward, then you need to draw up a roadmap. You draw up your roadmap to go that way. Now, this is why it's important to draw up your roadmap. Just like if you're traveling in a car and you are on your way to somewhere, now you have a map and you know exactly how to get there. So if you live in Pennsylvania and you're trying to get to Florida, to the beach, you having a map is going to stop you from traveling all the way over to Arkansas, all the way down to Louisiana, and then all the way over to Florida. Yes, you made it, but you took a whole bunch of extra unnecessary steps to get there. Now that's time that you could have been spending doing what you actually were intended to do. If your goal was to get to the beach and be on the beach and soak up the sun, you have more time to do that. In life, like if your goal is to be a supporter or be a leader, like if you have a vision and you have a roadmap on how you're getting there, when you reach that destination, then you'll have more time to do it. So many of us, especially when you speak to older people, they say, man, I wish I had known what I know now. A lot of times, we kind of do whatever we do in our 20s. 30s, we kind of try to pull it together. And then with 40s, 50s, that's when we're hitting our stride. But the average lifespan is what, 65, 78 years, something like that. So as opposed to having 50, 60 years of doing what it is that you're supposed to do, now you only have like 20. And yes, it's wonderful, but at the same time, like, you want to spend as much time, quote unquote, on your proverbial beach as possible. And your proverbial beach is living, being the highest version of your authentic self. That's your proverbial beach. So you get your roadmap. Now, as we know, we've all taken road trips. You're driving, and all of a sudden, there's a 10-car pileup on the interstate. That's okay. When you have a roadmap, you can, okay, let me just pull it out. All right. Now, I do know, because when you're planning, you always plan for the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. So don't make a perfect map and think, oh, I'm just going to draw this straight line to my destination. I'm going to hop in my car in Pennsylvania and drive straight down to a beach in Florida. It's not going to happen. So just like in your life, okay, I know what I want to do, and I'm just going to go straight to it. Nope, that's not what happens. So when you're mapping out your vision and how to get to your destination, aka the highest version of yourself, of your authentic self, you want to take into consideration that you may need to take a couple of detours. So if there is a 10-car pileup, okay, I'm on the main highway. What are some of the alternate highways on the side to get me around the collision or the blockage on my path? So you need to do the same thing. Like, okay, my goal is, let me go this way, let me go that way, let me do this, let me do that. Okay, I'm going this way, but oh man, something happened. All right, so now what's my alternate goal? So that's why you want to make sure in your vision, you prepare for all circumstances. Like, you sit and you think, okay, what could happen? And then you set up a preparation for that. So on your way to the beach, you know your alternative routes. You know, okay, if I get off this road, okay, I could go around, connect back to this road. Yeah, it may take me an extra 10 to 15 minutes on my road trip, but it's better that I have a map and I prepare for an extra 10 to 15 minutes than for me not to have a map and I drive around for an extra week or an extra month trying to get to the beach. I'd rather spend the extra 10 to 15 minutes getting off the interstate, driving on an alternate route and getting back on. Same thing with life. Like, you're going to have some detours. You're going to have some bumps. But it's better that you prepare and be planned for those bumps because you have a vision and that you already knew it was coming. So you're already equipped for it. You already know what's going to happen. So you're better able to embrace it than if you not to know it at all, just driving, and then you just keep getting hit with this event in life and that event in life and this event in life and that event in life. And it's just throwing you all the way off. When you have that vision, it's easier for you to pull back right on where you need to go at. And then also, the last part, when you have this vision and you're going to where you need to go to, it's easy for you to stay on that route. So if I'm going to the beach and I'm driving, and I know I'm going to the beach, and I know how to get to the beach, I'm not going to stop because I see some beautiful trees in North Carolina. Like, I'm going to look at them as I'm driving by, like, oh, wow, those trees are nice, but I'm not going to stop. When you don't have a roadmap, you stop at every single, like, tourist attraction. So, like, you take forever to make it to the beach because you didn't stop at this monument, you didn't stop at this mountain, you didn't stop and looked at this event, or you didn't stop and you didn't look at this trail and all of these. None of these things were where you're supposed to be getting to. You're supposed to be getting to the beach, but because you never had a roadmap, you're just like kind of like, oh, wow, this is nice. It's not my beach, but it's nice. It looks good here. The sun's shining here. It's not the same sun as the beach. So have your vision. Stick to your vision. Continue to move forward. Lesson tomorrow I'll be bringing you all is on the next step in becoming the highest version of your authentic self. So with that, I want to say thank you for your time. Once again, it's Owr Ibri from the Living Word Initiative. You all have a beautiful day.